All frucked up, day 33. Yeah, this evening, I guess the thoughts that I would share are that I basically ate the standard American diet today. So from sausage biscuits in the morning to spicy beef bao buns at lunch to a meal out. I had an evening meal at a restaurant where yeah, it was pasta, but it wasn't just, pasta with, say, some variation of marinara or spaghetti sauce, pasta sauce on it that would be high carb and low fat. It was a Cajun shrimp linguine, and, the shrimp's also low fat. So there's potentials for this dish to be on the healthy spectrum. Low fat pasta, low fat shrimp. But this was covered in some sort of, I'm sure there was heavy cream and butter and everything else in the white sauce that was on it. So, yeah, like I said, standard American diet all day long, and not feeling super chipper right now. Not my usual bubbly self. But I think it just needs reinforced that the low-fat diet is a prerequisite for increasing our carbohydrate intake. Some people are going to listen to this and go, well, yeah, no shit. But I think other people need to hear that, number one, but also to have that reinforced. Because, sugar in our bloodstream, the glucose in our bloodstream, when the body is working optimally, that glucose is only in there for a matter of minutes. But when we eat dietary fat, that can stay in our bloodstream for hours and hours. Some estimates are it could be in there for 12 hours. So, just building on that, I understand when people are talking to me about front loading, all the bad dietary decisions. If you're going to have a mixed macro meal, have it at breakfast. I understand the thought process behind that, because then you've got all day to run on that meal, all day to metabolize that. And then to a lesser degree, it's recommended if you're going to have that mixed macro meal. And of course, maybe in the morning you did like a sugar bomb and then you went to the gym. You didn't want to have that big meal early in the day. But in any case, someone that has that mixed macro meal at lunch, they've still got the majority of the day to run on that. It even aligns with, what the Navy diver told me all those years ago about having the majority of your food intake before 1400 hours, so before 2 p.m. But for someone that's going to make a decision to have a mixed macro meal, or they're going to have a high-fat meal, to my way of thinking, at least in reduction mode, we shouldn't be, and by reduction mode, I mean people trying to drop fat. I don't think we should be having mixed macro meals, because then you have the presence of fat, the dietary fat, and carbohydrate. And that's obesogenic. That's going to drive weight gain. I don't care when you have it. But to the extent that someone wanted to enjoy a high-fat meal, then have that in the evening. And have that in the absence of carbohydrates. Treat it like a low-carb, high-fat meal. Treat it like a keto meal, so that it's just high-fat, and have it in the evenings. Because if you're going to take about 12 hours to clear that dietary fat out of your blood, then you could be sleeping during that time. You could have your high-fat meal in the absence of carbohydrates, so that you're not just storing fat. Allow those hours of sleeping for the blood to clear itself of those dietary choices that you made. That dietary fat needs to be cleared out of the blood. And then in the morning, you could wake up and go back to your high carb, low fat. You can have fat with, not reckless abandon, but you can have fat with an evening meal. Just keep the carbs out. And you know, that's something that maybe a lot of people want to implement. So you could be disciplined high carb, low fat in the morning, disciplined high carb, low fat midday, and then if you're going to have an indulgent meal in the evening, you could do high fat, low carb. You know, you're not having the mixed macros, because again, you don't want your blood sugar to be crazy high. And when you've got dietary fat in your bloodstream, your body has a hell of a time getting the insulin to work properly and clear that glucose out. So again, this is just to my way of thinking, but if someone was not going to be, you know, high carb, low fat, 24/7, 365, or if there was some random event that they wanted to go to and there was going to be fatty foods, well then try to have that dietary fat without a bunch of carbohydrates, ideally. And then your bloodstream clears itself overnight while you sleep, and then you're right back to your high carb, low fat diet. Yeah, so have your fat in the evening is where I'm coming from. Just a thought. Makes sense to me. I just perhaps didn't do a very good job being eloquent or precise and communicating it on camera. But yeah, it makes sense to me. Have a good evening. See ya.